machines have control. Is it gonna be tomorrow? We're just getting weak as they grow. I guess it is the seed that we've sown. We're on the edge cause we waited too long. They're taking over, what did we do so wrong? We're on the edge now, we're waiting for war. They're taking over, what did we do so wrong?
Alrighty. Hello. Is this thing working? Can you hear me now? Let's do this. Oh, I forgot to put the chat on that screen. Oops. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Let's see. Everything looks like it's good. Let me see who's over here in the chat. I see a bunch of blue. I see Jake from State Farm. What's up, man? Master Sith. Hello. Rice in return. There's somebody we hadn't seen in a while. Chicken to jail. Delicis. Patiently waiting for a raven. Hello. Pinmuse. Hi, all. And Chris, met you at Con of Thrones many moons ago. It was 2017. Can you believe that? Been catching your channel again, loving the videos. So glad you're still doing them. Tron. We're trying to rebuild this thing because it has been dead for many years. Mike Williams. Hello. AKA Galaxy. Hello. I have not watched Westworld yet. I'll watch that tonight. So I have not seen it. No spoilers, please. I didn't love 2 and 3, but it's enough to to watch and see what happens for sure. Let's see. Edgar Alice, how you doing? Edgar, the king of North Carolina. I guess I should cut off this music here. It's probably garbage, right? Yeah, let me stop that. Let's see. Maybe Jon Snow goes to school, gets his law degree, and then works in the Wilding court system. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's. We'll talk about here in a second. I don't really have any real major thoughts. I wanted to have an actual discussion with you. I didn't take notes or think about things or any of that stuff either. So we'll get into it. Jessica, hello. Steph Snow, hello. Welcome, Steph Snow. Let's see. Saurabh, hello, Saurabh. How you doing? Let's see. Excited to see this community back. Hope this story is fleshed out and brings the promise of the first 4 seasons. Yeah, I don't know how far they'll go. We'll get into it here in a second. I don't know what George R. R. Martin's doing here, man. He always said there would be no sequels, but we don't even have the finished books, for Christ's sake. So it's hard to think about what could happen since we don't know. Other than the show, which was the ending, I think it's the same ending. I've said that many times, but the timeline now is just completely open. So it's all real speculation. We have nothing to really draw off of. Let's see here. So I'm just going down saying hello for a second before you dive into it. Hello, Diane Harris. Lord Kev, there he is. Big Lord Kev. What's up, man? Would like to see Lady Stoneheart. Catelyn hated Jon Snow. Lady Stoneheart ain't going to like him no better. He's not, though he's not Ned's bastard. Ned's still alive, which means he chose Jon over their kids. Yeah, I don't think we'll see Stone. That timeline's all. That's what I'm saying, Diane. It's hard to think about other characters like that because the timeline don't make any sense. That was during the whole thing in the Riverlands during Game of Thrones. So they missed that opportunity. They can't really bring her back, obviously. Because they're gonna say it's been a while now since she was killed, a little too long. So and there's nobody to bring her back. By the way, Barrick is gone too. Flipping beyond the wall, Jesus. Snow removal business. Yeah, that's true. It is going to be less snowy depending on how far north they go. He's got to come back to Westeros. We'll get into it in a second. Let me say hello to everybody and catch up. Red Walrus. How you doing? I don't know what the hell I said. Maybe falls in love with the Night's Queen. See, I don't think there is a Night's Queen. That's all over. There's no White Walkers and Night Queens and all that stuff. I don't think we're way past that. That's what I mean. Yeah, Delassus Tormund. I'm sure Tormund's going to be, and I have no doubt he'll come back. He's got to be. Steph Snow request number 1: have Sansa die before season starts. That'd be fine with me. But honestly, Steph, I don't think they can do this show without some of these other characters. So we'll talk about that in a second too. Jake, it better be good. I mean, it can't be bad, right? It can't be trash like the last couple seasons that people, for the most part, did not enjoy. Because D&D are not involved. I feel like I have to say that. I should have said that in those videos talking about this. They are not involved. They don't work for HBO. They'll never come back. So, we'll see. Well, Lucis up on the YouTubes. What's up, man? Big Boat. It's the Blue Crew, apparently. Ocean Mist, hello, how are you? Liquor, hello, welcome. Breaking Chains, how are you doing? Welcome. Jason Miller, so excited to spend my Sundays here once again. Yeah, so this is the beginning. We only have 8 weeks now, right? 8 weeks from today, is that right? Till House of the Dragon. So we'll be here at this time. I started a little early tonight, just for the hell of it. But yeah, we'll be doing. I'm sure those will be about 10:30, because I'm sure the show will be at 9 and be over at 10, probably 10:05, 10:15, whatever it may be. So it gives me a couple minutes to run upstairs and whatever. So we'll be doing the streams after House of the Dragon as usual. So I am excited about it. 8 weeks, it's not long. Not long. Christian Oles, hello, Christian. How you doing, man? Lazuli, hello. You did not miss anything. We just started. I'm just saying hello to everybody. We hadn't even got into a discussion yet. Lady Jen, there you go. There's Lady Jen. Lady Jen, by the way, I replied to your comment. We were talking about Patreon. I updated the list the other day on that last video, and I don't see you in there. I don't know if you're under a different name. Send me an email if you don't mind, just to make sure I get that right, and I'm not missing something. I did update that list that I always forgot to do every time I was trying to rush a video out. Let's see, Marty Martingus. Well, hello, Martingus. Been a while. Glad you're here, Marty. Welcome. Hope you're doing okay. Bolting Vulture, hello there. You got me into Obi-Wan voice. Or in my head, it was the Obi-Wan voice, not actually saying it. Yeah, Steph, Brienne coming back. Gwendolyn Christie said she'd be down. She's for sure would be great. Ellen, hello. How are you doing? Good to see everybody. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here to the bottom. Shubham, hello. How are you? Bolting, happy for more A Song of Ice and Fire content, but the sad wins is a distant dream. Yeah, we're not going to get any books, man. Nolan Saints, hello. What's up, Nolans? What's going on? Torment gives Brienne his giant's vein. Maybe that may happen, Jake. That could happen. Yeah, so let's jump. What's up, Gotlander? How you doing? So and there's Nata. I was there. I was looking for Nata. I didn't know if she was asleep or not. Long time listener, first time talker. Bullshit. Nat, please. Jace Miller, hello. Although I hope Danny is revived, I hope they hold out and reveal for a few seasons, making Jon and Tyrion live with their regret for a while. Yeah, I mean, the question is who's going to come back. So let's just get into it, I guess. I don't know. Can Kit Harrington, Jon Snow, the character, and probably, I mean, I'm just going to assume that Tormund's going to come back. I don't know what else he has anything going on or whatever. Let's assume he just comes back. Let's just assume that. Can they carry a show alone? You know what I mean? Do you have to have a big bad, or do you have instead of an external threat like the White Walkers were, because I think they're gone. Otherwise, it destroys the ending, whether you liked it or not. It destroys the ending of Game of Thrones. So I don't think they can have more White Walkers, or I don't like the ideas of Bran still being some evil three-eyed raven. It makes no sense. They created the White Walkers, obviously, and that was their mistake, but that was for an old war, and they helped the Night's Watch every year for a long time until they were kind of forgotten about, and everybody thought it was just a myth or a legend. So I don't see it going down any of those routes. So do they do some kind of external threat like that again? You got to have some kind of battles, and the whole purpose of any story is to change the main character, to go through whatever it is. And I can't see it just being him, hanging out north of what's left of the wall, which I guess is most of it, and hanging out in Wildling Land or whatever, it's going to be, there's really nothing to do there. I mean, you can throw some love stuff in there. Maybe he meets somebody new. You can bring back Drogon. Maybe he's accepting who he is as Aegon Targaryen, and maybe he wants to go back to Six Kingdoms. You got to think, too, that Sansa would have to make an appearance at least, even though, Steph, we were joking about that. I don't think he can come back to Westeros. I don't think he can just hang out up north of the wall where there's really nothing. You have to include some Westeros, right? And then if you do that, you got to have Sansa in Winterfell. So you got to have some of these people, whether they're in it all the time or not, like main characters, or just kind of like every once in a while. You got to have these other people back to some degree. David Gallagher, it's a cash grab. Well, sure. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, if there's money to be made, they'll do it. And that's what I was saying. George R. R. Martin himself said years ago, I remember talking about it. I don't remember the exact source. I just remember interviews and stuff. There would never be any sequels. And then that's why the initial video I did about this, when it got leaked, was more of, I doubt it. I don't think it's going to happen because, I mean, he's not even finished the books, for Christ's sake. We don't even have source material, for season 7, 6, 7, and 8 for the show. Why would they do a sequel? It would just be essentially fan fiction, but we'll see. Edgar Brand is plugged into Werewood Skynet 2.0. I mean, yeah, he's still plugged in. You still got that stuff. You still have, the Werewood magic or the old gods, whatever you want to call it. You still have that stuff. They can make Jon a full-fledged warg, like he is in the books, along with his dragon heritage that he's already obviously found out about, ridden a dragon, all that stuff. Hayes Nation, hello. What's going on, man? How you doing? Someone, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Lady Jen, I'm sorry. I didn't see if you replied. If you can, I can't listen to go to sleep, I mean. I don't know if you heard me earlier, Lady Jen. Oh, okay, I see it. Never mind. You said will do, Chris. Thank you. I just didn't see your response. You're on my screen. Your name's in light green, so it's easy to spot. David, I'm a huge fan. I just can't see where they're going to take it. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here to talk about. So what could they do? We were talking about external threats. I mean, you can't do White Walkers. That's just out of the picture. You can't do it. Otherwise, they're not going to spit on HBO. I don't think will do anything to really spit on the ending, even though I don't think that most people liked it. I'm not saying that they can't explain some things and kind of help shine a better light on it, but you're not going to bring back like White Walkers where the threat really wasn't taken care of and all that stuff. So what can they possibly do? You can have him, maybe he changes, right? He was supposed to be different after he died anyway, and I know it wasn't supposed to be some huge difference, but he did die. He comes back, and Beric was in 6 times in the books. He's a lot different than he was. Maybe he realizes, wait a minute, I am Aegon. I need to go down. Why am I being kicked out of here? I saved this fucking place. He didn't, do the deed as well on the Night King because Arya got that honor for some reason. But he did get everybody together and led everybody and made them believe it and set up the meet, all the stuff that he did. So maybe he thinks, I saved this fucking place and now I'm just going to leave it, because I never got the impression, at least didn't give it off to me in the show, that he was just like, okay, I just want to go north of the wall and live there. I was happy there. He was never happy there. He just was in love with Ygritte, right? I mean, I know Tormund said that a couple of times, like, you're a true northerner now and stuff like that. I'm not saying he didn't enjoy it. He enjoyed being out of the politics of things and the pressure of the 7 kingdoms and the whole thing. But I don't see him just being in love with staying up there just because it's the north. Because now you do have a fairly stable kingdom. You got Bran on the throne. It's his brother. Sansa's in the north. So it's not the same game. The Lannisters are gone. I don't know. So could he want to go back for whatever reason and at least live by who he really is? What's up, Ask the Cheese? How you doing, man? Q&A, can we see Essos return to avenge Danny? I mean, I hope so. I hope that Emilia Clarke is just lying, honestly. I think that, she knows about it. She's the one that basically confirmed it before George R. R. Martin did. I talked about that in the video the other day. Why would he go to her? I mean, I know they're good friends and all that stuff. Sure, they're probably lifelong friends. But why would he go to her and her know about it and she say something about it? You know what I mean? I know she was just answering questions, but she knew almost first, right? I mean, we don't really know the details. Obviously, it's been going on for a long time, which was surprising because when George R. R. Martin came out, remember he said on his blog that I talked about in the video, he did all the, he had all this these other shows going on, but this one was already there too. So they just kept it super secret. So I hope that maybe he's open to, saying, maybe I shouldn't have killed Danny off because this is his ending. Remember, this is his ending. We can't just say D&D made up everything. They did probably change some things, but the major points were there. Spartan Warrior, man, thank you for I appreciate it. Thank you for the super sticker. For some reason, it's not popping up in my feed. There it is. There we go. I knew we were supposed to get a thing. Thank you for the super sticker, I guess. Super chat. I appreciate it, man. For $49.99. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. That helps out a lot. Speaking of that, think about everybody joining. By the way, I did post this on Patreon. Let me go actually look at that. If you have a question there, Patreons, I'm guaranteed to see it. So think about supporting us on Patreon as we kind of rebuild this channel and hopefully get to 100,000 subscribers, what we're trying to do here. So if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Let me go to this post and see. I know not many people see this anymore. I guess they don't get the emails, but let me go to that just to make sure and check really quick. Where was the last one? There we go. That one. There we go. I found it. All right. So let's see. All right. But again, thank you, Spartan Warrior. I really appreciate that, man. It really helps a lot. Let's see. I was reading some stuff. Lady Jenny wasn't happy leading. Yeah, no, I get that totally. But what if there's a change? David, you're mentioning Victorian. Yeah, I mean there could. The question is that's kind of what I'm saying, David. Though is, does he survive the books? We don't know because he wasn't in the show. So, if he doesn't survive the books, which again, we don't know yet, obviously, and we probably will never find out, honestly, so in that sense, you could use him. But if the plan is for him not to, then you can't have him in the show because this is going to be, if George R. R. Martin's involved and he says it's canon, I guess it's canon. I don't know, though. I guess we'll get more details on what he thinks this is. What's up, Luke? How you doing? Let's go Avalanche. Do we got somebody playing? We got a game going on or something. There's Big E. What's up, man? How you doing? Good to see all the familiar faces up in here tonight, man. I appreciate y'all stopping by. I really do. What's up, Tim? Dario, another one. That would be interesting though to see that for sure, Tim. Again, it kind of goes back to the book thing. What's going on in Marine? Is Dario, did he just take off? Is he still looking over the place? Is it still under Danny's control? Even though she just left only one little sellsword company to look over the place. That'll be interesting to check in on that to see if it's back to its old ways or whatever it may be. So there's certainly some characters you could bring back, but again, it's like, does it step on the toes of the books that are yet to be published? So that's all up to George R. R. Martin, I suppose. Ocean Mist made no sense at all. Look, it's not just, and I just got to say this again, it's not just D&D's crap. I'm not saying that completely screwed it up. But they got the ending from George R. R. Martin. And people have to stop pretending that. I'm not saying y'all. I'm just saying in general. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying in general, people have to start talking about George R. R. Martin. This was his. I just didn't like the ending of the story. Even if D&D had books, and D&D did a great job adapting those books, and that was the end. I just don't like that. Just me personally. I mean, you can feel how you want. I just don't like the ending. I don't like the ending in general. I mean, so it felt like it was just, I don't know. It was just weird to me. And again, I know they changed some things, but I don't know if George likes it now. So I don't know. We'll see. Big E saying a heel turn on Jon Snow. I don't think they'd go that far. I think if Kit's approached him about it, right, he's the one who went to George R. R. Martin apparently 2 years ago, or whatever it's been, because he said in the thing, scripts have been written, rewrites have been done. I mean, they're heading towards a pilot. You know what I mean? They're farther along than we think. I think John wants the character done right, and I think it's a sign that he was not happy with the ending of him just like not really doing anything, running around saying my queen and I don't want it, and having to kill Danny. It was just dumb. I don't know. I mean, I can't put it any other way. So I think he wants to do some justice and maybe explain some things. So, I mean, but what could he possibly explain? I just hope that Amelia's back somehow. Even if it's not all the time, I don't know. It's going to be very weird if she's not. If some of these other characters that lived are not, Brienne, Bran, will he go back to King's Landing? I don't think you can do a Game of Thrones show and not be in some of these locations. It's just not the same. It's not going to go over well if he's just literally up north, living with the wildlings, and maybe he gets into a spat over with another group of wildlings or whatever. Or maybe the Night's Watch is reformed for whatever reason, which makes no sense to me why there's a Night's Watch. Because obviously he was sent back to the Wall, but then he left the Wall anyway. Not that he was punished. So he's not really in a Night's Watch, so there's no reason for a Night's Watch anymore. But maybe the kingdom reestablishes it anyway, and then he's now a wildling on the other side fighting with the Night's Watch or whatever because somebody else decided to rebuild the Wall. I don't. That would be up to Bran though, and technically Sansa, but the Wall is still part of this kingdoms, I suppose. The lands are separated up there, so the north doesn't go all the way to the Wall. You got the other parts that were given to the Night's Watch. So, Archon Jedi, what's up? How you doing? The Children of the Forest magic is going to come back. Drogon took Dany's body somewhere, and they need to find John Dragon Egg or him and Drogon can kick it. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Maybe they left it open with Bran looking for Drogon, but maybe he can come to Jon. And dragons don't like the snow and ice and all that stuff. But remember, now that the White Walkers are gone, the seasons will go back to normal. So it don't have to be like all snowy up there and cold all the time. Obviously, it'd be colder than the South, like any natural place. But it'll go back to a more natural cycle. Will Valentine, how you doing? That's what I was thinking. Danny Stoneheart. Oh Lord. Ooh, I don't know about that. I was never a huge fan of Lady Stoneheart in the books anyway. Just because obviously you know how I feel about Catelyn in general. But yeah, I don't want to see. Don't make it worse. Like for me anyway. Don't make it worse by rubbing Dany's death in my face and making her this sick, evil Dany thing. Don't do it, please no. Just let her RIP if we're not going to bring her back and have her I don't know, have her realize that she was wrong for what she was doing, whatever. Now, here's a question. Amelia Clark said she's not involved, right? And she don't want to come back. She's done with it. But if George R. R. Martin allowed it and their writers wrote in that she comes back to life and gets to get redeemed in some way by realizing she was wrong, they can rule together and get married, would she come back to fix that character? I would say 100% she would, even if it was just for a season or a miniseries. I think she would. Because she hated it. We saw the interviews with her. I'm trying to. Pebbles, hello, hello. It would be awesome if the new threat is Fagon and Jon is called back to help protect his brother from a new Game of Thrones. That's certainly a possibility. But again, it goes back to what I was saying before: is what happens in the books with Fagon, whatever. Obviously, he's in Westeros already. He thinks he's the heir. I don't think he's obviously really Aegon. All that good stuff. But you know what I'm saying. Like, if that time period has passed now, regardless, even if he's not in the show. But you know, maybe they could change it around and have him be out of, who knows? They could certainly do that without. But again, does George have him survive the books? I don't know. You can't, because I do think eventually in 3 or 4 years we'll probably get the Winds of Winter. He will release it at some point when he gets it right, or if something horrible happens, then I'm sure he's got a contingency plan. But we'll never get A Dream of Spring, I don't think. So the question is how is he allowing a sequel to happen before the actual story's finished? You know what I mean? David, the show name confirmed as Snow. It is confirmed as the working title. That's all. I don't think it'll be Snow. Salty writer Alex, hello, hello. Season 6, he told Ed he wanted to go south to get warm. Yeah, exactly. When he went to the wall, remember when he went to the wall? He hated it. It was cold. He was the same in the books. He was like, nobody told me what this place was. He's my father, except for Tyrion and all that stuff. So he wasn't just loving it up there. He was just in love. Let me scroll down here and catch up. I'm sorry. I'm already behind. We only have like 170 people, and I'm already behind. We used to have thousands. So I apologize if I'm not seeing your questions. Just repost them. Let's see. Yeah, calendar. Yeah. Musey, what's up? Musey, how you doing? Maybe since he's Targaryen, he'll take over what Dany was attending before she went berserk. Well, I mean, I was thinking that that's a possibility, not necessarily like take over, but maybe he does accept that he's Aegon and that he does have a thing, a claim. Maybe he is that, not like somebody was saying, a heel turn, not necessarily a heel turn, but just saying, you know what, I did all this shit. I saved the place. I think it was Big E who said that earlier. Why am I the one being sent up here because of like Grey Worm and the Unsullied, all that stuff? They're gone now. They're all dead. They went to Noth, and the butterflies have killed them all. So they're gone. They can't come back. So, yeah, I mean, maybe he does get that, like, you know what? I'm going to get mine now. I've been, I don't know. I think he does have to go back to Westeros. So I don't think this can be just like up north and not go into West. It's not Game of Thrones or Ice and Fire if you don't include Westeros, and you have to go to some of these locations. And in these locations are these characters that are left. Bran, the king, Sansa in the north, and then the Six Kingdoms. You got Asha Greyjoy over there on the Iron Islands. I mean, you got all these characters. And I'm sure some of these people would want to come back. Dutch Master, you're going on. I kind of just was talking about that right there. What if they finally add Fagon, and that's something that brings Jon back to Westeros? That's certainly a possibility. I just don't know how he plays out in the books. I don't know. We know that in the books that Dany will die. We know that Bran will be king. So obviously, Fagon's not going to make it, I don't think. So if he's not going to happen in the books, they're not going to make it, then they can't really go do this, unless they do really call it fan fiction. Oh God, Lady Jen, Bolton only coming back as a pile of shit. Exactly, pile of dog shit. Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to. What? Natalie? Beep, bop, beep. I got your ATM card numbers. What? What the hell? What are you doing that? There you go, Nata. Now you're blue. Bolton's coming back, says Edgar. Oh, Lord, have mercy. We need somebody like him, though, honestly, don't you? Like I said, is it going to be an external threat? You got to have a threat. It doesn't matter if it's internal or external. You got to have a threat. You got to have something for the character to go through and be developed even more, whatever it may be. So, I don't know what that can be. But it ain't going to be the Boltons, for sure. Diane Harris, I assume they would have to mention the rebuilding of the Capitol and Brent. Yeah, I would assume, yeah. I mean, because, that place was... Of course, they already had, they were back in the tower at the end, right? So we assume some time has passed, and they already had the new armor and all that stuff. So something's already been rebuilt a little bit. So they'll at least have to mention it, I'm sure, I guess. Maybe Roose has some other bastards out. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility, but I don't think they would have any power now. JR, what's up, JR? How you doing? Goes to the fighting pits and kicks ass. The fighting pits. So he comes back, he ends up captured and taken to Essos and ends up in the fighting pits. Maybe he gets the bug to travel the world. Maybe Arya comes back and picks him up and they go sailing. I don't know. Yeah. Would we want to see Jon Snow just traveling around, though, in Essos? Do we care about Essos? I don't know if a lot of people care about Essos. The Essos stuff is always the stuff that I don't really care about. Not in saying Essos as a whole. Obviously, Dany's still over there in the books. But we all wanted her to get to Westeros and be the focus there. So I don't know if Essos will do well. If it's like a main point, obviously. Excuse me. Steph, so I think you can do it without going back to King's Landing. Well, how though, Steph? I'm not saying just King's Landing in general, or specifically. I'm saying to some of these locations in Westeros. So, but how do you do it? What is the story? What's some ideas? I really haven't put any thought into it, honestly. I wanted to just have I didn't want to come in here and have a list of 10 cool things or whatever. I wanted to have an actual conversation with you guys. But what can they do without going to King's Landing, or at least, sure, they don't have to go there, but it exists. It's got to be mentioned or talked about, something. Haynes Nation Q&A. Will House of the Dragon tell the entire story of the Dance of the Dragon Civil War in one season or more? Oh, no, it'll be multiple seasons. I don't think they go. I think they go probably. This is just a wild guess. I would guess by the end of season 1, we'll see Viserys die, and that will start it. So I think it goes probably 4 or 5. I think 5 seasons. It's just complete guess, but we'll see the entirety of the dance, and it'll end, and Aegon III will be king, and there's a lot that happens in between that, obviously. Right, Viserys dies at the end of the dance. Aegon III is the king, and the whole thing, the show will be those years in between. And then now, look, the show, the dance only lasted about 1.5 years in the books, right? The whole thing, but they'll spread this out over probably 4 to 5 seasons, is what I'm guessing. I don't think it'll be like in the 7 or 8 season thing, but unless they want to go a little further. They could go further into Aegon III and all that, but that'll lead into Dunk and Egg and all this stuff later on, which they are doing separately. So that will be Dunk and Egg is going to be outstanding, by the way. If you have not read Dunk and Egg, those are some of the best stories in this whole damn universe. You know what I mean? Dunk and Egg will happen. I feel I'm 90% sure Dunk and Egg will be out of the shows they mentioned so far. 10,000 Ships, Nymeria, and the Rhoynar, the Sea Snake. All that good stuff. The Sea Snake will essentially be like a pirate show almost. Not a pirate, but you know what I mean. Based on the water. But out of all these, if you want to get really into Game of Thrones and that history, Dunk and Egg is the best stories. And you get to meet, at some point, young Bloodraven. So that was the timeline of that. So, yeah, they'll tell the whole story of the dance for sure. Big Sweet, hopefully Jerem has a contingency like Robert Jordan and someone finishes books. If something happens, I need those. Yeah, I mean, I hope so, but I mean, I don't know. I honestly think he's changed gears in a lot of ways. You remember he talked about it. I put it up in videos and screenshots of interviews or quotes and then interviews. He said 2-3 years ago he's not doing anything else. Or no, I'm sorry, before Game of Thrones ended, he was not doing anything until The Winds of Winter was done. He was not doing any more TV shows, any more book forwards. He was only focusing on Winds of Winter. The last few months or years, I should say, really a year or so, showed that last blog post he put out where now Winds of Winter is not the primary thing. It's Westeros in general, which includes all these TV shows that he's involved with every single one of them. So he just don't have time to write, man. He just don't have time to do books, and I don't think he honestly wants to. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. I apologize. So I know I've missed some stuff here. What's up, Herb? How you doing, man? Dragon Demands, what's up, man? How you doing? Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to catch up here. All right, Lady Jen, have a good one. I'm sorry if I didn't see that. So that was just a couple minutes ago. Glad you stopped by. Yeah, shoot me an email if you don't mind. I appreciate it. I want to make sure that's straightened out. Have a good one. No problem, man. I'm trying to get to every question. I just can't see. There's Voodoo Darlin. There's Rick Cop. How you doing? I'm trying to catch up here. Yeah, no, Lucis. No, I agree. I was going to get to that actually, Lucis. We're focusing too much on the action side. No, I agree. It don't have to be action. It don't have to be all like battles and stuff. But you have to have threats in some way, whether that's political threats or whatever. That was the best part of the story. I loved most. Not very many episodes had these battles. It's all about the political intrigue. All I'm asking is, what does that mean in the North, the true North, as they call it? There's no real politics up there, So he's got to come back to Westeros unless some kind of something forms up there where there's different factions and whatever it may be. But I don't see that happening. I don't see that carrying a show. Rick says, still fascinated by Children of the Forest. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see more detailed stuff and like who the Night King was, and I think that's what Blood Moon was going to explore before they canceled that, and that got canceled. That's the thing. Remember, they filmed that sequel, or I'm sorry, that pilot, and it got canceled. Nata Q&A. When we actually see this in 3 or 4 years, yeah, I would say so. I would say probably at least 2. I mean, they're pretty far along, but at least 2, if not 3, I would imagine. I mean, you got to think if are they close to? We don't know. Are they close to shooting pilots on all this stuff? Maybe. If you get a pilot and then it gets a green light, then it's going to happen quicker than you think. But yeah, I would guess. I mean, I have no idea. I would just guess at least 2023. I'm sorry, 2024 for this show. But then again, look, everything's probably a lot further ahead than we think, even than he can say, because they already have, like he said in that article. I'll bring it up here. Actually, let me bring up his not a blog. And he said they have showrunners and stuff, but he just couldn't announce anything until HBO says so. So let's see. Yeah, Snow and other stuff. Let me put this up here just for a second. Let me see if I can do display. I'm just going to cover your chat for just a second. I'll put this up here. So if you look right here, this is where he's going through talking about, this is what I showed in that video. If you hadn't seen it, go watch it in more detail of all this stuff. But let's see. Yeah. All 4 of these shows are still in the scripting stage. Outlines and treatments have been written and approved. Scripts have been written. Notes have been given. Second, third drafts have been written. So far, that's all the way television works. Please note it's not greenlit yet. the likelihood of all these shows getting on there is unlikely. Obviously, that's what he's saying. But he said right here, there's one part basically where he's saying, look, it's got Kit's idea. He went to them, but Kit brought them into his own team, and they are terrific. So Kit brought in his own writers, and then he says he's completely involved here. Basically, his team, Kit's team, had visited me in Santa Fe, worked with me and my own team of brilliant, talented writers and consultants to hammer out the show. So that's already been discussed. Scripts have been done and rewritten in third drafts and all that stuff, all in the scripting stage. And then somewhere he basically says, I can't tell you any information on showrunners, whatever. That's all I can say for now, for Snow just now. If HBO says I can tell you more, I will. So there you go. I went over that in more detail in the video, but we'll just get back to discussing this. Anyway, let me move this back over here. Dragon demands. I've seen some suggest Jon will return to fight Fagon, but how could they intro that when the TV show never mentioned the Blackfires, Varys is dead, and they're going exactly. That's what I was saying, Dragon. It's hard to even speculate, man, because we don't even have the book ending. You know, we don't have the detail, because obviously the main points are going to be the same, I think. We were talking about that on Twitter the other day. It's the same ending as far as Bran, the big things, right? But they may have changed the way some things were done, obviously, with Arya stabbing the Night King, whatever. But we don't know if Fagon is going to make it. I don't think he will. Because if Dany's dead, then she's going to die in the books. Bran's the king. Then Bran's going to be the king in the books. So I don't think Fagon's going to make it. So if he's not in the books, then he can't be in this show. And like you mentioned, they never mentioned this other stuff, like the Blackfires, like you mentioned, all that stuff. I mean, it's so weird to even speculate, honestly, because we don't know all these other characters. People have mentioned maybe they could bring in Val and all that stuff, and Val, that timeline's gone. Val's up there, you know, at the wall. She's a wildling girl. She's got a baby, and you know, she senses black blood, Craster's black blood, and Gilly's baby. Jon does a baby swap and all that because, you know, there was going to be a white, you know, obviously he was going to be a White Walker. That's all gone. That timeline's gone. So what would be the point of bringing in a Val character now? So could they bring in some other characters? Sure, but not the ones that, like, their timeline is gone. And does Val survive the books? You know what I mean? We just don't know. I doubt it. Let's see. Sex Boat, Edgar. Remember? Yeah, Sex Boat. Good Lord. I forgot. We got so many old inside jokes here, man. But yeah, Rick, like Rick, you're saying in Voodoo, I definitely would like to see maybe he just tries to go discover who that was that Arya killed, since they canceled Blood Moon. We're never going to find out, you know, because it's got to be a Stark, right? It's got to be of the Stark bloodline. Lord Kev, Ned shows up, says, I'm back, bitches. Fake my death. You guys are so fucked. Yeah, I don't. Would love it, but I don't think you can fake that one. Haynes, I was thinking the king would die episode 1 by the end of the season. It's all over. Let's see. No. I don't. They're gonna. That's gonna at least, I would say, 4 to 5 seasons. I think you'll see the build up. You'll see the conquering of the Stepstones by Daemon, all that stuff, and the backstory with the council, with Rhaenys being passed over as queen, then her kids passed over, Corlys Velaryon leaves. You're going to see all that kind of stuff, the build up. He goes and helps Daemon conquer the Stepstones. You're going to see all that in season 1 is my thoughts. And then I think probably episode 9 or 10, Viserys dies. He will name, obviously we'll see the big moment where you saw in the teaser where he's going to name Rhaenyra his heir, and all that stuff. So that will start everything in motion. By the time we get around to season 2, then the actual separation, blacks and the greens would already have happened, but we'll start getting into the actual first, I guess, deaths. Probably Aemond. I won't get into any spoilers here just for the sake of spoilers, but you'll see Aemond and somebody be involved in some little thing, and that becomes kind of the first death in the whole war. officially. Anyway, blood and cheese, you'll see all that stuff. Let's see. Bolting, episode 1. I'd actually love to see this, man. Unsullied die from butterfly fever on Noth. I agree. Iron Island submerged by Kraken and Leviathan. Jon Snow comes south. A free man. Episode closed. Drogon places Dany in burning Valyria. She opens her eyes. Look, man. I'm not for all these like in shows and movies and stuff, right? I don't care for everybody being able to come back from the dead. But if Dany can come back from the dead and get some kind of redemption for her character, I'm all for it. I'm totally down for it. Totally. Just because I hated they literally the whole entire time. And again, it's going to be in the books too. That's what I hate about it. Again, we're not going to probably get the books, but if we do, it's the same story. We thought that she was not her father. Ends up she is her father, and I just hate it. It's just me. It's my personal opinion. Some people, if you like it, that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly fine. I just hate that ending for her. It's just dumb to me. All the stuff that she did, and then she's by Jon. Nisa, right? Sir Duncan the Tall. We're going to see him for sure. Out of all these shows, I would be willing to bet money that if you have Jon Snow, you have Dunk and Egg, a Knight of Seven Kingdoms, whatever they're going to call it, which I'm sure that's probably the name of it. You have 10,000 Ships, Nymeria, the Rhoynar, all the stuff they're doing. Those are all great stories, but if I had to put money on it, Dunk and Egg will be the first one greenlit. And not even the first, but I'm saying it will be one that will actually become a show, regardless if the others do or not. That one will be first, I would hope. That would be my hope, anyway. There's too many great stories, man. And it would be really cool to see Aegon run around as a kid, bald, and he's really a Targaryen and nobody knows, and all the cool stuff that happens. And like I mentioned, young Bloodraven, so we could get some more insight into that. Dragon, even if they do add in Fagon, recycling that plot point would be admitting this isn't a sequel to the book story. Exactly. It would. Because, the whole thing with Aegon, right, is Fagon is, like I was saying, it goes into the story of the Iron, the fight for the Iron Throne and Jon being a Targaryen and that whole thing, and then he thinks he's a Targaryen and all that stuff. It just doesn't fit the timeline to have him in here now. It would be an actual just retelling. Now, again, if they want to say that, if he comes out and says, look, this is fan fiction, this is not canon, do what you want. Sure. But I don't think he's going to be down if it's not. I don't know, man. It's so weird because he's changed so much. He's changed his stance on everything with this TV stuff, man. ATC and other things. What's up, man? How you doing? Replying to that, 2024. Yeah, sure, at least. Diane, I would like to see flashbacks like via Bran about the early days when Ned brought Jon back to Winterfell and growing up with Catelyn as the wicked stepmother. Yeah, you could do stuff like that for sure. The good thing about Bran is Bran has access to any time period. So if we can spend some time learning some little details like that, Wyla and the whole thing about that stuff, sure. But as a whole story, what's eating at Jon? What's he got to go through, And again, like Lucy said, it don't have to be a physical thing. You don't have to have a big bad, but it can be internal. But how do you express that on TV? You know what I mean? You got to think about the medium too. Let's see. Musey, do they start with Fire and Blood straight to the dance? Yeah, pretty much straight to the dance. They're not going to go from Aegon the Conqueror up to Aegon the Third. It'll be from, you'll see, like I said, you'll see the Great Council. So Jaehaerys technically will still be alive in a flashback setting or whatever it may be. Probably episode 1. It'll kind of set up the precedent of, a woman being passed over because Rhaenys is passed over at the Great Council, right? Rhaenys, you'll see in the show, she's married to Corlys Velaryon, Dragon Rider, all the good stuff. So they'll set up the precedent with the Great Council and then go to basically Viserys getting pissed off at his brother, Daemon and making Rhaenyra the heir, and that'll start setting everything up. All the prelude to the actual story. It's going to be good. Hey, look, I think this is going to be really good. I'm really pretty excited about it. I was talking to James the other day about it, by the way, and we were talking about old videos and the good old days and old streams and stuff, and he was like, remember, I didn't like Game of Thrones going into it because I didn't really like fantasy, and now I was like, hey, look, it's the same thing. Here, you know, once you learn some of the characters that you're not familiar with and you get some of the names down, I promise you'll fall in love with some of these people, man. So it's going to be the same for House of the Dragon as it was if you never had read the books and you started Game of Thrones. You remember it was a lot to take in. You had all these different families, all these different names, very similar names and all that kind of stuff. But once you got to know the names and who they were, then you really started, falling in love with some of these characters and love to hate some of these characters. So Will, Ice Spiders, what's up, Will? How you doing? Yeah, though, but I was saying earlier, Will, I think that time's gone. There's no more Whites and White Walkers, so I don't think we get some of that stuff. Now we can still get, like I said, some of the Children of the Forest, old gods, whatever you want to call it, magic, werewood magic. I'm calling it. Sure, but what is that? Maybe Jon will learn to green sea. I don't know. Maybe he'll learn to go back and tap into it. They all have warging ability. Maybe they'll make him a warg, like I said earlier. They didn't do that in the show as like they did Bran in the books, though. Of course, all the Stark kids start having wolf dreams, including Jon. So that's the beginning of warging. Or skin changing if you're going beyond wolves. Steph options. He could sell sword travel around and take on contracts. He could take over for Sansa, maybe deal with an invasion from Essos. He could awaken. Well, okay, just mentioned the warging abilities. Yep. I don't know. I don't know if it's in his character. I don't think he wants to fight anymore. Is kind of my main point about what we could have here. His whole thing was, look, he's tired. He's been fighting ever since he was born. And then as soon as he got, up to the wall, all this shit started, and he's been fighting ever since and literally died for it. So it's like, I get the idea of Jon going beyond the wall at the end. I didn't actually mind that part as much. I didn't mind him if he got to choose that, right? I didn't like Bran, you got to go to the wall. Why is there a wall? Why is there a Night's Watch, number one? Number two, why? You're the king. Why is the Unsullied why does Grey Worm have any say over what, you killed her, so you have to go to the wall. Just let them leave. If he wants to go to the wall or beyond the wall on his own, I'm perfectly fine with that. I would be completely fine with him going away from the politics of Westeros. I didn't like that he was forced to go. That's my problem. So I don't think that fits his character, though, to be a sellsword. Basically is what I'm saying, Steph. Herb, how you doing, man? Can't wait for the Jon Snow spinoff. Sorry, I'm late, by the way. What do you think the spinoff will be about? Well, that's this whole entire discussion, Herb. But we're talking about all kinds of stuff. Welcome back, Herb, by the way. But yeah, we're just having an open discussion, man. I don't have any. Look, this is beyond any expertise. Nobody on YouTube who are ice and fire nerds and book snobs and any of us that have done this for many, many years on YouTube and read the books 87 times, whatever, we can't tell you anything that's beyond any material. There's no material for this. So it's a complete open discussion, just some ideas of, all things we do know. But my whole thing was I just don't think Jon just in that area alone could carry a whole show. So they got to do something else. Gackle? Hey, hello. Is that Gackle? Am I saying that right? Lazoo saying agree. What's up, Lazoo? How you doing? Gackle saying a Snow sequel. The Seven Kingdoms are independent, fighting each other. Jon is called upon to come in the way and help and unify the same. Now that's not a bad idea, Gackle. Yeah, because you have 6 kingdoms now in the north, and the north is independent. So now you got to remember that Dany promised the Iron Islands to Asha, right? Asha in the books. So then why was she all of a sudden on the council and not saying, yeah, hey, she promised me that too. So that's certainly a possibility right there, actually. That's actually a good thought because that makes sense for what we saw in the show, right? Is that it's the six kingdoms, but why does she get to take the north by herself and not be involved in the king and all that stuff? That why can't I have my own place, right? As far as the Lord or whatever. So that's not a bad one. Then he's kind of called back and has to answer the call again in some way to kind of bring peace back to the kingdoms. And then he has to step up as Aegon and say, look, I am Aegon Targaryen. I kept my mouth shut about it. I had to kill the queen because she went crazy, blah, 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 blah. But this is who I am for real. Drogon shows up. He can prove it, whatever it may be. Maybe Bran can prove it. And then he's kind of forced into power, which would be in his character because he don't want the power, right? So that makes more sense. That makes a lot of sense. Matthew Frank, what's up? Watch out for the capital letters there. That was a bot deleting your message. I have been here the whole time, Matthew. Welcome, by the way. I have been here the whole time. My channel is not pushed out anymore. If I do anything other than Game of Thrones, which has been over for 2.5 years now, you don't see me. So anyway, that's why we're trying to rebuild here. We're trying to get back in. I'm really looking forward to House of the Dragon. So we're starting the live streams up today, and every Sunday we'll start talking about Dragon. We should get a trailer here really soon, a full trailer that we can talk about as well, because it's only, 8 weeks away, and we're watching it. So. But tonight we just figured, this was fairly new. I did a couple videos, and Dragon did some videos about that as well. And we wanted to just kind of just brainstorm over what this can be. I got to say, I like that idea. I thought about that earlier. I like this idea I just read, man, more along the lines of the kingdoms start to fight in some sense, and Jon maybe has to leave his little vacation home in the north and come back to the Seven Kingdoms to say, look, if I have to do what Aegon, my ancestor, did, I'll do it. And he gets people behind him and reunites them. That's a good idea. And Kit, how you doing? Hoping to see some Balerion and some flashback scenes. Yeah, I think we could. We could, man. Technically, remember Viserys rode Balerion, but when he was young, only once, or was it twice? A couple times, not much. I can't remember exactly. And then he's too old and frail, so he never chooses another dragon. So he's alive fairly close to this time, but I think that's probably his skull we saw. Mazuma, Jesus, how much incest there would be in Jon Snow? So taking your cousin to prom, or Jaime banging Cersei like a screen door in a hurricane. a screen door in a hurricane. Oh shit! I gotta be honest, Mazuma, that's the first time I heard that one. There probably won't be much in this one. I wouldn't say in the sequel. I think they're moving away from that, man. Screen door in a hurricane. Oh shit. Musey, Kit wants to play Jon, so time works, etc. aren't going to happen. I don't know. I think we could do some exploring there. Again, if we get Bran, especially, we got to get Bran back, man. Just to at least have access to that if we need it, because unless Jon learns to do it, unless they go that far. What's up, Lori Perkins? How are you? Christian Cruz, Jon and a new red woman. Yeah, like Kinvara. The problem is with Kinvara is the actress got fired, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, which is why we never saw her again. Remember the big deal in Essos? She was like, yeah, you're the prince who was promised. Excuse me. And, we expected Kinvara and Red Priest to possibly show up in Westeros because they were all behind Dany, and she was going to save us from the long night, and then we never saw her again. She got fired, I think, for leaking stuff or something, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, bring back Kinvara or another one to bring, Danny back at least. That'd be cool. But if not, maybe somebody comes to Jon again with another prophecy. Maybe they bring some prophecy in. Or some more magic and prophecy that's we're not aware of right now. Winter's Lady, hello. As far as I'm concerned, got ended for me with Jon and Danny on the ship. Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel. I agree. I completely get what you're saying. I do understand. That's kind of me too. It really broke my heart bad. And what made it worse for me was being on here and just watching it die like live, because we were live, like we were live after every show, and then we got to do the great money for charity fundraisers and stuff, and then to watch it just kind of crash and burn was just horrible, man. I don't know. It really broke my heart for a long time, and that's what I mean. House of the Dragon is making me feel that. Again, about the YouTube channel, about doing these live streams, and because regardless, I know it's hard for some people to say, well, we know how it ends because we know Targaryens end up happening, with Danny and all that. But this is a really good story, and if I can get that feeling back with all you guys for 5 or 6 seasons, or whatever it's going to be, I'm in. You know what I mean? Let me check Patreon real quick. I think I saw... Yes, Lord Kev on Patreon is asking, will Theon get a new magic-y wiener? Asking for a friend calls Doc Holliday. Well, Lord Kev, unfortunately, Theon, remember, is just Ash. I'm sorry. He is not getting a new magic-y wiener. Donna Del Rey, hello. Welcome back, Donna. Aegon, she's saying. Cruel Gaming, Harrington wants to fix the Season 8 for the fans. What's up, Cruel? I think he does. Man. I don't know how they can do it, but that's what we're here to talk about. Musi Quaith was never a big... Yeah, Quaith, too. That's another person you could see come back. I thought for sure that Quaith would be involved with Jorah's storyline, right? I mean, helping him cure Grayscale instead of Sam scraping shit off with a damn... with some, Neosporin and a knife. I thought they would bring back Quaith, and they never did. But then we got involved with Danny. Never even said a word to Danny. They left out so much magic, or some of the more mystical things, which is fine. Again, I don't want to, it's not Harry Potter, but that is in the books, and it's not overdone in the books. I think it's a good balance, and they did miss big opportunities on that, for sure. By the way, guys, if you are here or new here or coming back or maybe could you do me a huge favor and be sure you're subscribed to the channel and do me a favor, subscribe. And if you got other people who enjoy this type of thing hanging out and are going to watch House of the Dragon, invite them over. Really appreciate it. We're trying to get this thing turned around so the algorithm sees that we're still here, been here the whole time, and keep it moving forward, man. Really cool to see all you guys here tonight, by the way. Cool to see some old names and new ones. Egg Time, what's up, Egg Time? I don't know who ABS is. Apparently there's a game going on. JR says, I'm kind of scrolling back up because I missed a couple up here. JR, Mira Reed assassinates Bran and starts a civil war. I can see that they did Mira dirty as fuck, man. I really felt bad. I hated that too. I mean, I understand the idea. Bran was really not Bran anymore. I get all that, but they really did that wrong. Did Mira wrong. Jeff, how you doing, Jeff? I always thought they should have had a Robert Shabane miniseries come first. It's something everyone is familiar with. Yeah, but that was shot down too. That was actually what we were talking about with the reporter James Hibbard. What Dragon Demands posted that first. He's more into all that. I'm not really a news site, but I've always mentioned big things like obviously trailers and whatever. But obviously with the prequels, I've done all that stuff. But he had reported that Robert Shabane was going to be a show or something, but ended up being like a play. And that's why we thought this was probably not true. But but the other thing for me was more about George R. R. Martin. He said there will never be sequels. But he also said he'd have a book out 12 years ago. I mean, and then 3 years ago, and then 6. I mean, anyway. Herb, Duncan Egg, and Jon Snow, imagine be greenlit 100%. Yeah, I think if they can get some money out of GOT and do some kind of redemption for that character, I think they will do it. What?
Do you still have a Disney Plus account?
Yes, I do. All right, let me scroll back down. Where was that? Huh?
There's so many chats.
Because this is Game of Thrones stuff. This is not Star Wars. Camden's here, everybody. Camden's back here.
Anybody I know?
No, you don't know anybody here. Goodbye, Camden.
Oh no, I see Mizuma's name.
I don't know where Doc is, Missoula.
Do you still have a Disney account?
Yes, I just said I do.
What's the email for it?
You know, I'm not saying it on stream.
The email?
You know my email address.
Okay, well I just tried it and it didn't work.
Well, that's the email address.
Well,
You can go downstairs and click it. Dixie, Dixie Normus, Mike. Let's see. Hold on. Wait a minute. I just lost it. Imagine the children of the forest backstab Jon and turn him into a new Night King. I just don't think we need any Night Kings, any White Walker stuff. I just think that's over. There were no threat. I mean, the way they did it. I mean, obviously. Yeah. So I mean, would I like to see some more details on some of that stuff? Sure. Confirm that he was a Stark and all that. That would be great. But I can't see them doing. Gakel, am I saying that right? Gackle or Gakel? Gackle. I guess either Bran or Sansa getting assassinated during conflict with one of the 6 now independent kingdoms. Jon is forced to come down south after being called upon. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, man. Overall, as far as something that I think that fits his character. Something. He's just living his life normally. Maybe he meets a new girl up there. He's just whatever. He's out of the whole game of fighting, and I get that. That's fine. But then he's got to be called back and has to kind of answer the call like before. Dixie Norma's what happened to tie-dye guy James? He's just living in his place. He's actually fixing to move again. And working regular normal shifts. So I don't know. We talked about it the other night. I'm hoping that he will be interested enough to come watch House of the Dragon and stream with us after. But I don't know. Pen Muse. So we are here for you, Chris. Rally the troops. Rally the troop. Please do. Obito. Gotcha. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. I don't know if that's somebody in the chat or maybe on another video. I will see them either way, but thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Hey, there's one closer to 100K right there, guys. One closer. We just need, we remember we hit, what did we hit? 83,000 in season 8. We hit 83,000 subs, and then literally episode 6, was that the final? Was that the finale? Was it 6 episodes? 6 episodes in, yeah. Then that's the day it all died. We went from 83,000 back to what is it? 77,000, and what are we at? I don't even know where we're at. Yeah, what are we at here? I'm just curious. 76,885. So we have crossed 77,000 3 times now, I think, 3 or 4. So we're only 115 away from 77,000 again. So that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Thank you for the subscription. Let's see. Duke Silver, John and Tormund are up north drinking Giant's milk. Yes, we got to have Tormund. I'm already 100% sure that he's already contacted Christopher, the actor, and he's probably all in. I mean, I'm sure he is. Lori, what happened to Sam again? Sam is the Grand Maester somehow, and there was enough time for them to rebuild the tower, in King's Landing as far as the Red Keep, or at least portions of it, and there's time for him to go and get at least 1 or 2 links in his chain and become the Grand Maester. So we don't know how much time passed there for that last episode, but yeah, he's in King's Landing serving as Bran's Grand Maester. So yeah, Sam is in, and you know, look, that's what I was saying about King's Landing. Jon and Sam were best buddies, right? From all the way from season 1. You got to have Sam. He's got to go visit Sam, right? At least, even if it's just visiting and there's no real drama, he's got to have Sam in it. Sam, and you know he would come back. You know he would come back. He's been in a few things, but he's got to come back, man. All right, I'm going to scroll down, so I apologize if I missed some of your comments. Just repost them if I missed them. I'm sorry. I just don't want to. I keep scrolling back up, and then it gets further and further behind here. We hit 200 people a minute ago. That was pretty cool. Let's see. Where was... Okay. Donna Del Rey, I'm sorry. Oh, man, he had to mention Jorah. Now I'm heartbroken. Yeah, I mean, he just... it was... But that was actually one of the great endings, right? I mean, it was sad, but that was a proper ending for Jorah. He was going all out, bleeding, going out for Dany in every way possible. He was willing to die. He knew he was going to die for her, and he did. And that was a good ending for him. There were some good endings for characters. Theon was one of the best characters in the whole show, one of the best actors in the whole show. So there was some good things, obviously, but overall. But yeah, Sir Friendzone. Poor Jorah. If he just only got a little kiss, a little taste. A taste of the dragon. Diane, I hope to see Bronn again at his castle at Highgarden. Yeah, I mean, Bronn kind of pissed me off that last couple episodes, man. Or, you know, he wasn't even really in it until he goes up and slaps Tyrion, and after, you know, when Cersei sent him up there, and I knew he wasn't going to kill him, but acting like a dick like that after what they did for him, man, to him and Jaime, Bronn got on my nerves. And then was all of a sudden on the council as the master of coin. So remember, he's not in, he might have Highgarden, probably does, if he was promised that. Maybe Bran gave it to him, but he's a master of coin in King's Landing, last we saw Bronn. So he's in there, he's King's Landing too. Hello, Delta Alpha, Abito. Hello, welcome. I saw you earlier, I said hello, I think. All right. So I'm down at the bottom. I may have missed a couple comments in the middle there, so I apologize if I did. Just repost them, so I don't have to keep. So I can let it try to scroll naturally here. Q&A from ATC and other things. Q&A. Can we see the North Splinter part and have lots of? I'm losing it. And have lords telling Sansa to F off. Yeah, I mean, I think it goes along with. I don't think you could have some other houses that are, you know, but I don't see that as a major point. I see the Northerners are pretty stuck together. They're pretty much a one group for the most part, and she is a Stark, so they're going to be fine with her. Obviously, we saw her Queen in the North, so they all voted her that. So I don't think that would make sense to have the North itself be in splinters, but something like that, I think what we were saying earlier about the other kingdoms, yeah, I think that's a good possibility, actually. Herb, maybe through the spinoff we finally get a crossover between GOT and Star Trek. Oh, jeez, we can't. GOT and Star Trek. What? Why not Star Wars, Herb? Why not Star Wars, man? I love Star Trek too, by the way. Don't buy into these theories. This is in the future, and there's really used to be technology and all that bullshit, though. Lori, where do you see in backyard? I think he died battling Drogon. I can't remember. I don't know you're talking about, Lori. I'm sorry if I missed a previous comment. Naomi, hello, Naomi. How are you doing? Couple partial semesters, then he's dean. Yeah. Exactly. You're talking about Sam? Yeah. It was just like, okay, he's not. He left. He never earned a single link. He left and stole books, which is fine. He take the books back. But now it's whatever time period passed, he's been back and became a maester. I think he had a couple links, and now he's Grand Maester. Which again, the king can appoint any maester he wants to be Grand Maester, but typically Grand Maesters have all their links and have been around for a long time and know a lot of shit. Sam didn't know shit compared to some of those maesters. Anyway. Backyard Grill Master, Sam and Ed. Remember Ed? Ed is dead. Backyard Grill Master, Ed is dead. We saw him as a white. Winter's Lady, so I'm afraid to ask then what happened to Gilly. Yeah, we didn't see anything. Assuming she's just in King's Landing with Sam. Gilly didn't die or any of that stuff. She survived in the Crypts of Winterfell, went to King's Landing, so we're just assuming her and baby Sam were probably with Sam at King's Landing. They really did Gilly wrong too. She's the one that discovered the whole Rhaegar thing, and they didn't even mention that. Sam just like, oh yeah, by the way, I saw this in a book. Can you check it? To Bran, which we all knew that would happen, but he didn't give Gilly any credit because I said, what did I say back in, I don't know, 2016 or 17, whatever that was. I said, I did a video on it. I did live streams on it. Gilly just didn't learn to read for the sake of reading, and she was going to have an important role, and she did. So I called that right, but then they didn't even give her the credit for it. Remember, she was like, and Prince Rhaegar, and then he was like, Rhaegar, wait a minute. Rhaegar, but he didn't realize that till later, so. Deshaun Tyson, what's up, Deshaun? How you doing, man? What's going on with YouTube? Didn't get an alert. I have no idea, man. It's been dead for me for years. I don't think anybody gets alerts anymore. Not many people. I do see it says people do. It says that there's like 8,000 people get an alert when I put out a video, but I don't get but 1,000 views. So that's not true, or people just don't care. And I don't blame them. Look, I get it. I'm not going to go on a whole YouTube rant, but I do get that, got made people sick and heartbroken, and they didn't want to see anything else about it, and they were out. I get it, man. But we're trying to rebuild here because we got some shows coming. We're going to have some good stuff coming in the next couple of years, and we got one starting in 8 weeks. And the good thing is we're on the ground floor, season 1. Probably 3, 4, 5 seasons, whatever it's going to be for that one show. By the time we get to about midway through, I would say 2 years into House of the Dragon, we'll have Dunk and Egg or either Jon Snow or one of these other shows. So we got some stuff to do. Long ways to go. We shall rebuild. Musey, I'm telling you, it'll be the Adventures of Snow and Hot Pie. Oh, Lord, Hot Pie. Hot Pie is still around. We could see Hot Pie. Yeah, maybe he'll stop by the ends. He's going to travel to Westeros for whatever reason. He's got to stop by and get him some food at the ends of the crossroad. I don't know why he's going that far south, but he's got to stop by there, and we'll see Hot Pie. Donna Del Rey, there's no North, the real North without Tormund. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Tormund is going to be in at 100%. I think he's probably already agreed. I mean, we'll get more details obviously as we get some kind of news on a pilot script or whatever it may be, but apparently that's done. Diane Harris got started off with the death of Jon Arryn, so I wonder if they'll do this too. It'd be a good parallel, sure. I mean, you got to have a hook. Any story's got a hook. We're going to see something. It's kind of like I was saying with House of the Dragon. The reason I think that it'll start in season 1, episode 1, with the council, the Great Council, during the reign of Rhaenys' father, that I think that's our grandfather, that, it will set the precedent up for, okay, they skipped over Rhaenys and gave it to Viserys. And now you'll see, Viserys give it to his daughter, but we know they're not going to follow through. There'll be some kind of hook. There's got to be a hook. All right, Lori, have a good one. Good night. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out for a little bit. I appreciate it. Had to head to bed. Thanks, Chris. Getting work pumped. Work tomorrow. Have a good one, Lori. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Really do. Spartan Warrior, Iron Bank, new enemy. I don't know for Jon Snow show. I think they got paid back. I don't think there would be any. I mean, we'll see. Maybe that's part of the reason that Jon has to come back. Maybe there's some issue with them and Bran. But because I mean, are they broke? You know, I think they got all the Lannisters gold and all that stuff that they got. So I don't think there's any shortage in the coffers right now. But then again, who knows what's happening with Bran? That could be part of it. Maybe Bran is so robotic that maybe he's doing a terrible job. I don't know. Rod, damn it. What's up, man? How you doing, Rod? What up, brother? Glad to catch you live. What I miss? Man, we've been talking about House of Dragon 2, but no, man, just going over ideas for this Jon Snow show. And then we also talked a little bit about what I think will happen in House of the Dragon first season, stuff like that. So anything we talking about, man? We're just talking about ideas about what the show could be. Can Jon carry it along with other characters come back? I mean, you got to have Tormund and Sam and stuff. Maybe Sansa, maybe Arya will come back to Westeros from her adventures. Let's see. Diane Newman. Hello, Diane Newman. What about Brienne? I think Gwendolyn would come back. Yeah, she said she would. I would love to see her back. She's awesome. Would also like Sir Davos. And remember that Gilly was going to name her baby after Jon. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot there was a second one. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. We should see Davos. Obviously, Davos would follow Jon again anywhere. All that good stuff. So you got these characters out there and I think they would come back. I really do. I've been kept up with everybody's career, but I don't think a lot of these god actors went on to obviously like Kit's in the MCU and he's playing Black Knight, all that stuff. But I don't think, obviously that's a movie. I don't think it's going to be a major thing where, obviously he's trying to do this show, which would take up the bulk of his time. I think they're all pretty much free. I think some of these characters will definitely come back. I don't think they can do it without it. Ali, howdy. How are you? Ali Lauren. Welcome. Bolting, if they'd only been loyal to the books and Rob not have brought Queen Jane to the wedding, Jane could have shown up with Rob's heir and the Jon Snow. Yeah, that's true, man. They did. They changed it a little bit. I was actually not horribly disturbed by the Jane thing. I mean, it did its job for what happened in the books. So, Backyard Grill Master Jon has to get a dragon. Yeah, I mean, I think he's got to accept him being Aegon, and I think he kind of did anyway. But hey, we still have a dragon. Remember. We don't have to have a magical thing necessarily where he learns to, hatch dragon eggs, but Drogon is still out there. And maybe there's some long lost dragons somewhere, man. We can have a dragon come back to that would be cool with me, actually, if Bran's out there looking, I don't know, with his psychic abilities for Drogon, have him kind of seek Jon out or Jon seeks out, whatever it may be. I think Jon and Drogon could team up for sure. I'd much rather Dany come back, and they could both use him, but we'll see. Winter's Lady, thank you so much. I'm glad D&D were not even crave enough to tarnish that storyline. My headcanon says that Sam has a secret family hidden away in Old Town somewhere. Wait a minute. Sam, secret family? Steph, I'm sorry, I just saw this too. I don't know what Brienne could do without Jaime, to be honest. Well, I mean, look, I get it, but she's got to move on. Obviously, she's Lord Commander of the King's Guard, man. So she can, she'll do whatever she's got to do, and she's loyal. So she's gonna be loyal to Bran, and but maybe Jon's the heir. I mean, if he has to come back and kind of be put in that position again to lead, Brienne could have a big role. Herb Tormund would definitely come back. Also, Sam, Gilly, Arya, Tyrion, Brienne, and Bran. I don't know if Tyrion would, though. I don't know if Peter Dinklage would. I'm starting to question that. He had some snarky shit to say earlier. I did a little video on it one time a couple months ago. I don't know if Tyrion would come back or Peter Dinklage. Like, he has some snarky shit to say about House of the Dragon or whatever. Like, they're riding our coattails, which of course they are. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he'd come back, man. He got big, you know. He's in everything, or was for a while. Herb, the Hook, Sansa and Tyrion are both poisoned, and Jon must return to be the new king in the north, while Arya returns to be Bran's new hand. King in the north. I don't know, man. I'd rather him just be, if he's going to go that route, just be Aegon and go for the whole damn thing. I don't know. Because he was already king in the north, right? I mean, he'd be doing the same thing again. Duke Silver, if the story is mostly in the north, then there almost has to be White Walkers. Well, that's what I'm saying, though, Duke. I don't think the story has to be in the north. There's no indication that it would just take place there. We just know that's just currently where he is. If you ended the show yesterday, I don't think they can do a story just in the north, and I don't think you can do White Walkers at all. I don't think it makes any sense, because whether you like the ending or not, that threat's over, you know. So I don't think they can do the north and White Walkers. That's kind of what I'm saying about the whole thing. Is I don't think it's enough to just have a show about Jon living up north of the Wall. I mean, would it be somewhat interesting? Maybe he's got a new love interest. Maybe there's some scuffles up there between some wildlings, but it's really not enough to carry a show if you don't go back to Westeros and go south, is what I'm saying. But I mean, hey, I could be wrong. Maybe, who knows? We'll see. Hopefully at some point we'll get an idea of hopefully we'll get a pilot order, and then we can start seeing leak stuff. We start seeing, like, you know, the sniper photo shots and all that stuff of them filming, and maybe that's already happening. Who knows? Diane, maybe Sansa has been taken by a political faction in order to control the North, and Jon has been named as her successor should she have no heir. I don't know. It's kind of a repeat of the same thing already. He's already been king in the North, I think. And who's going to take Sansa, though? You know, there's not anybody from the North. I think they're all fairly loyal up there. They're a whole different breed up there compared to the rest of those kingdoms. Rod Dim Q&A, what do you think about Jon Snow starting out with Jon making the rounds with Tormund staking his claim as king beyond the wall? I think we'll finally see Val. I actually mentioned Val earlier, Rod Demmett, but I don't think it makes much sense because the timeline's wrong. The whole thing with Val in the books is right, is she senses the monster, right? Gilly's baby is off the, is White Walker blood or whatever that she senses, and the baby swap with Gilly's kid and her kid and all that stuff. So that's all kind of gone, and we're kind of beyond that point, that timeline. And will Val survive the books? And if she doesn't, then you can't have her in the show because it's after the books, right? Whenever they're, even though they're not out, he gave them the general ending. Now you could say, sure, she wasn't in the show, so they could introduce her. Sure, they could introduce a character named Val, but I don't really see it making much sense if she's not the same character during that timeline. All right, Steph Snow, thanks for hanging out. Have a good one. Off to bed. Love you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a good one. Steph Snow, thank you for stopping by. Let's see. Donna Del Rey, for the prequel series, I hope they can explore Mance Rayder abandoning the Night's Watch. If they can get around that period of time, Mance was a really interesting character. Yeah, but there is no prequel series for that. That's what got canceled. Well, Donna, I would say not. It wasn't even the same show, obviously, but the prequel for this area, or this, the North and Night's Watch and stuff, would have been Blood Moon, but that was like a 10,000 year first long night thing supposedly, but that got canceled. So as of now, there is no prequel series. in this timeline or anywhere close to it. Obviously, the dance is 170 years about before Game of Thrones. They won't focus anything on the North, other than we'll see some people fly up to Winterfell to try to make a deal with Rickard Stark and all that stuff, Rick and Stark. But yeah, there's no prequel to my knowledge as far as like that could explore Mance's timeline, because that was fairly recent, obviously. And you got some backstory. You do get some backstory a little bit in the books, but not details about who he, other than he was obviously a crow at one time. Hoonjive, look at this, y'all. Hoonjive is up. I don't think Hoonjive's been in a chat in like 10 years. What's up, Hoonjive? How you doing, man? Welcome back, Hoonjive. No YouTube notifications, but got Twitter and Discord notifications. Going to have to stop working Sunday nights again. And Proto Start, hit that like button, lady. Sandra is a Bolton. Yeah, man. We're starting back up, Hoonjive, on the whole House of the Dragon thing is in 8 weeks, so that's why we're starting this tonight. And we thought we'd just talk the Jon Snow series and what it could possibly be. And in 8 weeks, we will be watching House of the Dragon and doing this whole live stream thing post-show, post-game. I'm sure a lot of other YouTubers will as too, I'm sure. And that's fine. But we had a pretty good run there with the live streams back in the, especially season 7. Season 8, it kind of started going downhill before, because we had such a long night. And a lot of other people started streaming, which again is fine. It's YouTube. I don't own this time slot. It's not like a TV channel. So that is cool though. It's cool to be back and see some of these familiar names. So I really appreciate y'all stopping by. But yeah, I don't know. With notifications is weird. Other people have mentioned that too. If I don't put out a GOT video, nobody gets notified. Like we talked Star Wars, nobody even knows about it. We were talking Obi-Wan last week and the week before. So we've had a few live streams that people have missed for sure because nobody is notified. I mean, we don't have Carol Brown, Doc Holliday. I don't know who gets notified anymore. Doc could be working late though, or I think he does actually get notifications. He's mentioned. Salty writer Alex, I'm still not convinced Danny dies in the books. The 93 letter to his publisher, Germ, said the key file would make it through all 3 volumes when he thought it would be a trilogy. That is true, but I think that came a long way. The whole bittersweet thing was what I took that as her the third twist or whatever, which because they built this up so much saying she's not her father and she's not like she did all this good. She freed slaves. They made her this outstanding character that you loved. And some people don't like her actually in the books for some reason, but that's fine. Whatever. Your opinion is perfectly valid. But I think that was the big shocker is she goes full Targaryen. I mean, they had hints of it for sure. And they tried to say, they hinted at it with stuff because she's done some bad shit too, to make up for good shit. I think she in her head. But I think I just can't see that big of a point being different. Is what I've always said it because again I played that audio or that broadcast with Anderson Cooper and George R. R. Martin a million times in videos. He literally says when he asks him something like, "So are you worried about it messing up your ending in the books?" And he says, "I don't think that my ending is going to be that much different from Dan and Dave's because I told them we had those conversations." So I mean, I'm totally convinced that the key big things obviously are the same. Now, obviously, you got other characters and stuff, and you got Dorne plot lines and whatever, but who knows? He said he would not change the ending based off internet stuff, but he's also said a bunch of other things that turned out wrong. So who knows? Herb Q&A, what if it's revealed Ramsay had a kid with someone just as crazy as him and she gave birth to his kid and then it growing ends up being the villain who wants revenge on Jon? I mean, that's possible, but I don't see it carrying a show. Just somebody that wants revenge on Jon. You could say that some random wildling wants revenge on Jon for something because, their parents died in the battle at Winterfell or whatever. So it don't have to be a Bolton just to say, just to be an enemy. But I don't think that's enough to carry a show because a lot of people wanted revenge on Jon back in the day. Hell, they killed him, remember? So it'd kind of be a rehash. All right, Diane, have a good one. Hate to leave though. This is another really great podcast. Be safe. Have a good one, Diane. Thanks for hanging out. I know everybody's starting to jump off here. It's getting close to midnight and people have to work and all that shit. But if y'all want to keep going another, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, it's cool with me. I'm just going to go to the restroom really quick if you want to. If y'all need to go to bed, then we can get off here either way. Let's see. Donnie Lyons, hello, Donnie. What's up, man? Is the North loyal? I mean, they almost abandoned the Starks at the Battlefield of Bastards, the Battle of the Bastards. Well, yeah, I mean, I think they are. I think they're pretty damn loyal. They remember they were only really not loyal when they thought that the outsider Dany was coming in because they don't like Southerners, you know. I don't think there's going to be any houses and stuff that would abandon the Starks and all that stuff. But I don't think that carries another show. Spartan Warrior Val will almost definitely will hook up with Jon, have small Targaryen-looking children, most definitely all those Frasier from Cheers type spinoff shows. Yeah, they could do a bunch of stuff, man. Yeah, Boldy Vulture. Jon just living north of the wall would be like Kenobi just watching Luke bartering with Jawas and carving meat from that big sandwich. Exactly. And that's why he had to leave the planet, and people had a problem with that. It's like, what did you expect him to do? Just sit there like all episode, you just keep seeing Luke through. I mean, he's got to do something, man. What if Jon goes or gets called to Old Valyria to rebuild Backyard Grillmaster? Old Valyria. I don't know who would call him to rebuild Old Valyria, though. You know, I don't know who would do that. He is the only Targaryen left in this show. There's no Maester Aemon anymore. Dany, obviously. I don't know. I mean, it's a thought. It is a thought. I mean, it would be cool to see him kind of connect with his roots, you know, and who he really is. But I don't know if that's something he would want to do. I think he'd want to fix Westeros before he rebuilds some ancient civilization. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Rod Dim, we appreciate you. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I really do. Robert Figueroa, what's up? Go. Jack Baker Benjen. Well, Jack, do you think we get any clarity on Benjen? I think we did. I mean, he was cold hands in the show, and apparently he's not supposed to be in the books. I don't really buy that, but I don't really know what else they could say about Benjen. You know, he got brought back same way as the Night King, basically, but he showed up, did his thing, saved Jon, and he is dead this time. So I don't really know how much more clarification we need. Now, that's not to say that, you know, if we get into some Children of the Forest stuff or there's some kind of conversations about it or we get into some magic stuff that they couldn't bring him up for sure and how he survived and how Dragonglass supposedly does that to people. So that kind of stuff would be cool to understand the magic a bit more. Yeah, Rick, you're right. Germ originally said he wouldn't do Dunk and Egg, and now, yeah, and he does. Yeah, well, he changed his mind for sure. I mean, on everything. He's literally changed it on everything. And now I think Dunk and Egg is almost. I think, like I said, out of these prequels and spinoffs, and now this is a sequel, that will be the first greenlit prequel. Pin Q&A. What if Drogon takes Dany and breathes fire onto her, resurrecting her? She becomes the Dragon Queen when you threaten Westeros for revenge. Jon becomes Azor Ahai, the that has to defeat her. Well, I think that's already. I think that's kind of what already happened. She ended up being just as dangerous as the Night King was the idea. Ice and fire over here, and then Jon's in the middle. and they both have to. And I said that a long time ago, by the way, when we did Dragon Raised by Wolves. You remember our big thing was balance. People always said the Song of Ice and Fire was about Jon and Dany, but it was about Jon, Dany, and the Night King, who has to be a Stark, and then his Targaryen side, you have Dany, who's the fire, Night King is the ice, and Jon is the Song of Ice and Fire, being both. So it had to end in balance, is what we always said. So we wasn't completely surprised about Dany. Again, I've said that before. I just didn't like it. I mean, I just wanted her to live, honestly. But, so I don't know. I think that's essentially what has already happened. She was kind of the threat, and then Jon became Azor Ahai, and she was Nisa Nisa, and got it through the chest, man. Have a good one, Herb. Ben G, hey Chris, do you think, what's up, Ben? How you doing? You think Daemon Targaryen will survive the end of Dance of the Dragons and live out the rest of his days with Nettles? I think it's certainly possible. I don't know if we got that clarity in the books, but that would be cool. That'd be cool to see. Because remember, the thing about Fire and Blood is just not like, there's going to be a lot of detail. Like, if you have anybody saying on YouTube or whatever that they know every single little thing that happens, in the details, they don't. There's just not enough source material. We generally knows what happens. We know some things. We know some detail, but these are written by the hand of a maester. It's not like the actual books as far as Song of Ice and Fire. So there's a lot of stuff that we're going to learn too. If you even for people who have read the books. So yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. Daemon is going to be a cool character. He's really going to be the main character, and he's going to be one of those people that you love and you love to hate and you love, and I think so. He's going to be a fan favorite for sure. I think so, and I think he'll play him well. I hope so. I think so. Robert, we need to know, Robert Fragora, we need to know what happened with Arya. Yeah, they should probably mention her. I mean, I think the Arya thing, I didn't like that idea of like, what's west of Westeros? I'm not a lady. I can't be with Gendry because I'm a traveling lady. I'm not a lady anymore. You know, I'm a badass, assassin. I didn't like that because I thought that, people changed like everybody else did in the show. She just she became more of a robot too, like Bran. And we've already had people do this stuff. I know they didn't mention the show, but this has already happened in the books. People went west of Westeros. Alyssa Farman, Corlys Valerian's been over there. I mean, it's just kind of like, it was almost like, yeah, she's just can't be here and live at home. And she's all about the wolf pack and coming back home and then decide to leave. I just thought that was weird. But yeah, I mean, it'd be cool. I think she would come back. For sure, I think I think she has said before if she could play Arya again, she would. People say they don't want to get typecast and stuff, but when when there's not other stuff coming up that they love to do and whatever, and she's done a bunch of stuff, but I think she would come back. Donna Del Rey from actually got into GOT very recently, less than 2 months to be precise. I was attracted to Jon and Ygritte's relationship. Nothing is very iconic. Even us who have never seen the show. Okay. Welcome to the family there, Donna. Yeah, so I hope I'm not spoiling too. We spoiled a bunch of stuff, man. I apologize, but yeah, Jon and Ygritte was the real deal. Really his first love, man. So it's pretty deep, and loved her character too. But yeah, we're going to get into. So you'll finish that, right, Donna, and then I guess if you're watching it, and then you'll jump right into prequels, and so you're gonna get an advanced course here for sure. And if hey, Donna, just by the way, if you're watching the show, I got 1,000 videos with all these details about what's going on and references to books and theories, and a lot came true, a lot didn't. So there's a lot of content out there, Donna, for sure. So enjoy. I mean, look, I think it's cool. Look, I know how it is when you first get into it and you see a couple episodes and you fall in love or reading the books or whatever, and you're like, oh, damn, this is so cool. So I miss that too. That's how I found the live stream today. Subscribe to me. Awesome, man. Awesome, Don. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're joining us here on your first live stream. Just been into it 2 months. We've been around since 2015, Don. I'm telling you. So lots of good people here. It's like a family. So I'm glad you are joining us tonight. Chicken to jail Q&A. Will we see the Owl of Faces again? I hope so, Chicken. I'm still sticking by it, man. That when we're talking about those book differences we were talking about earlier, that's one thing for sure that's going to be an important location. I'm not saying it's going to happen exactly like we said in our in-game stuff and how it should have ended and all the, because we did the Dragon Raised by Wolves 2 years early. We did those things 2 years early just to do it early based off just knowledge and, foreshadowing and stuff. It's definitely going to be an important location in the books. But now again, will we ever see that? Who knows? Will we ever see the books? Doubt it. So, but yeah, that'd be cool. There's still children there. We need to see that location regardless. So I think that could fit into this show for sure. We might actually, by the way, we're probably going to see it in House of the Dragon. Let me just say, it's pretty. Without any spoilers, there's a character that needs to go there to prove his loyalty. And I won't spoil anything, but we should see it in House of the Dragon. I mentioned it before, so if you've seen old videos, you may know who I'm talking about, what happens there eventually. I won't. That's going to be a big thing. I'm not saying anything else. But we should see it. We will see the lake. We'll see the God's Eye Lake. The Owl of Faces, not 100% sure. Definitely going to see the God's Eye. Robert, Dunkin' Egg will be outstanding. It's a great story. There's some of my favorites, and I think it will be the first one to be an actual prequel for sure. All right, Donna, have a good one. Good night. Have a good one. I'm glad you joined us, and welcome again. Welcome to the family. Duke, so yeah, I'm not sure if Jon would be popular to kill Danny again. Yeah, it'd be a rehash. It would be kind of an extended thing of the same old we just saw. She was a villain for like 2 episodes. BNG, I think R will come back to Westeros and tell Jon about the threat to the Long Night and Essos. And that's a possibility. That's one thing we've always questioned. Me and James talked about that a lot in live streams and Q&As before when I used to do the Q&A videos. What happens over there when the Long Night happens? And they have their own, Yeti and all those places. They have their own legends. They have the forts and all that stuff that seems to be almost like another wall. But in the show, the Night King is dead. Therefore, all the other ones blew up, so there should not be any White Walkers. Matt Gio's son, Chris, I missed you, bro. No homo. Well, I miss you too, Matt. I miss all this, man. I'm telling you. I miss all this when the channel was booming and I could pay the bills and we had live streams and like a family. I miss all this stuff, man. I really do. I'm glad y'all are here, man. I'm really, really cool to see some of you guys back. I know we've done a few live streams on Star Wars and stuff, and we did last couple weeks. But to see the Gott family coming back and getting some people getting excited. I know everybody's not excited for it, but getting excited for House of the Dragon and now this show and some other ones is really cool. I tell you what, guys, we'll go just another few minutes, but give me 1 second, and I will let me do this right here. If you guys want to hang out another 10, 15, I'm down for that for sure. But let me do this, and give me 1 second. Run to the restroom, and I will be right. Let me play some music for you guys, some copyright-free music. So enjoy. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Thank you. There we go. All right. All right. Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. The Doc Holliday. And he posted on Patreon, I just saw. As long as we get two characters named Dan and Dave that are tortured all season like Ramsey did to Theon, that would be outstanding if they did a little nod, so to speak, to that. That would be cool, man. A little I don't know. Little shade thrown D&D's way. Can we include George in that too, though? Can we just saying, you know, a little shade that way too. But yeah, no, I agree, man. 100%. Rod, damn, I just keep thinking about them HBO checks. They ain't turning those down. Maybe Dinklage, but not the rest of them. No, I agree, man. I think a lot of those, you know, people, they always say, like I said before, they don't want to be typecast, but they kind of do. They kind of want to be typecast. And they are regardless anyway. No, you know, you see Christopher, I can't even pronounce his last name. You think Tormund. You see Macy Williams, you think Arya. It's just always going to be that way. It doesn't matter. They were there too long, all that time. So, yeah, I think they'll be back. So hopefully, what I'm hoping is if Kit Harrington went to Emilia Clarke and told her that he's hoping that she would consider, if George would allow that to happen, again, it's all up to him. Yeah, I think she would come back. I don't know. I mean, who knows? She says no, but you know, she said no before. Brian Valencia, what's up, Brian? How you doing, man? George will literally do anything but finish the books. I agree. He's not going to finish the books. He's just done. Which again, look, it's fine. I think it's a disservice to his fans, but again, he's not my personal author. I hate to think that he won't ever finish it, but I don't think he will. Yeah, Rick, Children in the House of Dragon would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll get any details, but as far as like the Isle of Faces and what happens there, but there's only two people that's ever been, and one of those happens during this timeline. And the other one, of course, is Howland Reed, which we never saw again, obviously, in Game of Thrones. Matt, what's up, Matt Vian? Do you think the Jon Snow spinoff, they could possibly bring up Jon, the Hound, and Arya being fire whites like Beric was? Well, I think the fire white thing was more of I never took that literally. Like, Jon's not an actual white. I mean, he's got a heartbeat, and so did Beric. So they're not actually whites in that sense. I just want to, not saying that to you, Matt, necessarily, but just in general. I've said that before. He said that in a kind of way that was like Jon's essentially a fire white, right? Because Beric was the foreshadowing for him, but it's obviously a totally different thing. But the Hound, I mean, I don't think the Hound coming back would be a good idea, because he fell. Not only did he burn, he fell a long way. And then there's none of this White Walker magic left to bring people back and that type of thing. Although the fire side would be more R'hllor. I don't believe it's a god, but I think it's kind of the same source. But again, I mean, do we get some explanations for some of that? Could be, or do we leave it mysterious? You know what I mean? Arya has not died. I mean, she really should have, with the way she was jacked up by the waif, but so Arya wouldn't necessarily fit in that, but Jon, sure, you could certainly question it. Winter's Lady, you responded to Penn. I was just going to say that I'm very glad I read A Song of Ice and Fire before Wheel of Time, because Germ took so many ideas and place and character names from that. Yeah, I've heard that. I've not read the Wheel of Time books. I started watching the show. We did some live streams on the show, and I want to read the books now because from my understanding, they're a lot different, and people did not love the show. I thought it was pretty good, but I think people were saying it's more or less kind of a, and they did have some kind of crappy looking stuff in the show too. But I enjoyed it. But I can't compare it obviously because I have not read the Wheel of Time books. Chicken to Jail might get wins, but that's it. Yeah, we're not getting anything past wins for sure. We're never going to see a Dream of Spring again unless there's somebody else writing it, unless he has a plan for somebody else to take over or whatever it may be, possibly. But yeah. Brian really wanted the show to be half John, half Arya storylines. That would have been cool. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible. I mean, look, because John's a main character doesn't mean you can't have some Arya stuff because you can have these parallel stories going on. So it's not out of the question for sure. And I think she would come back too. Harry the Hater, I don't think Kit Harrington be anything but Jon Snow. Yeah, you look, I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just, I know he probably didn't want that. Most people say they don't, but you can't help it. When I saw him in Marvel, I was like, I'm thinking Jon Snow. I'm not thinking about the Black Knight, thinking Jon Snow. Rick urged Chris and James still doing their podcast. Seems it's been about 7 months. Well, we want to. I just spoke to James about it. It's just been a lot of stuff with his schedule and some other things going on. Nothing between us or nothing like that. We still want to do the podcast. I definitely want to do the podcast. I started moving all the podcasts from this channel to the podcast channel, which is a separate channel now, to kind of start keeping everything separate. And there was many times where we sat down to record, and then the thing we were watching or what we were going to talk about ended up being kind of a dud. So there was a lot of missed podcasts there too that were supposed to happen. So we're trying to figure it out. I mentioned it again yesterday, and we talked about it for a little bit, but we didn't come to a resolution. We got to figure it out. But yeah, right now it's just not happening. But it's supposed to start back up. That's all I know. At some point, though, I'm going to have to make a decision and move forward, but hopefully sooner than later we'll get that back as well. And hopefully James will come over. He is moving to where he's going to be able to work from home some, I believe now. And I hope that he can come over here on Sundays and watch the show, and then he can join me for these streams, and we can sit right back there and have our podcast kind of set up, and he can talk with us on House of the Dragon. But because, he hasn't read Fire and Blood or any of that stuff, so it would be kind of new to him again, which again, I've forgotten a lot of stuff. I've forgotten a lot of Ice and Fire stuff. I mean, I used to reread all the time as I was especially doing these theories, and we did a Dragon Raised by Wolves specifically, and some of those end-game predictions. I was digging back into books with quotes and looking for hints or things to shoot it down, whatever it may be, and I forgot a lot of stuff, man. I've forgot names and times and places and all kinds of stuff. Kate R, is there ever going to be another Con of Thrones? There's supposed to be. I don't think there will now. I think that the Rona ruined all that stuff because there was one scheduled, I believe. So now though, and of course they didn't have their official Game of Thrones con that was supposed to happen for I don't know. Did that ever happen? I don't even know if it did. I think that was Vegas. I think they canceled that too. Dargans and Area Warging, yeah, man. Chicken to Jail. Amelia did a great job of playing Cray Danny. Yes, she did. I mean, for what it was, you could see her get so much better at acting in general through the course of this show, for sure. But now she's trying to do plays and stuff. I guess I don't know. And of course, she's part of Star Wars. We'll see if they ever follow up on that too with the old Black Sun and Darth Maul. All righty, let's see. Let's do one or two more, and then we'll get out of here. I know people are heading off to bed. It's late. Duke Silverbrand wakes up from a dream, goes to tell Jon. Jon is in bed with Dany. Jon looks at Dany and says, "The things I do for love," then throws Bran out the window. Damn. Harsh, man. So when is this? So what timeline? So, Jesus. Yeah, would we be willing to throw out the whole thing if it was one of those things where it was all a dream, man? Even the first 4 or 5 seasons, if you like 5. Balos, they'll do flashback for Jon's heritage and go over Robert's rebellion. They could. I don't know that we need that. I think we saw enough with Rhaegar and Lyanna getting married in the Tower of Joy. I don't really think we'll need to see Robert's rebellion. The reason he said there would never be a Robert's rebellion is because there's enough information in the books which you really understand all of it. He said, especially after the other ones come out. But now that probably won't happen, who knows, man? Harry the Hater, first 5 books of Wheel of Time is so frustrating. They have great ideas but horrible execution. I've heard some similar things, man. But I'll check them out when I get a chance. And if I don't like the feel of them, then I just won't read them. I'll just watch the show and just be a show fan if it stays decent. Rod Dammit, Q&A, what are you looking forward to the most with these spinoffs, story and character-wise? Honestly, like I said before, out of all these potentials, Dunk and Egg. Dunk and Egg is some really good stories. You learn some histories, the Trial of the Seven, instead of, trial by combat, you learn of Trial of the Seven, which is combat too. It's really a cool story. We have Sir Duncan the Tall, this hedge knight, and he's running around with this. It's just a cool pairing, man. A little kid with a bald head, and why is his head bald? It ends up being really Aegon the Fifth and all this stuff, and it's really just a cool story. And there's lots of little adventures they can go on, so it can always be different. Excuse me. Mazuma, yes. Will the next Con of Thrones include a hero gasm? Absolutely, man. It has to. I don't know if y'all watch The Boys, but that shit's. I love The Boys, man. And if you hadn't seen the last episode, that's what a hero gasm happens. Absolutely happens. Matt Gio, with Peter Dinklage come back, I wonder. I said earlier I don't think he would. I don't know. I just got the feeling that he's, I don't know, with some of the things he said about, not that I don't like him anymore or something. I just think, I don't know. I just feel like he got too big for his britches, and I don't know if he would come back and play Tyrion again. Maybe he would do some guest appearances or something. I don't know if he would do that again full time. I don't know. I doubt it. But I don't know him. I don't know him personally, obviously. Matt, I don't mean bring the Helm back, but I mean the way the Helm was mistaken for dead, and Waif's work on Arya, it would have been plausible they did die like Beric and Jon, but Lord Light undeaded them. Oh, I see. You mean like explaining that they were in fact like fire whites the whole time. Sure, but I don't know what would that change anything, I don't know. Because you did have the Hound reading the fire, the flames after all, so that was different, right? But it seemed to imply to me that anyone really could if you really just focused and tapped into it. So, Christian Cruz needs SmokeScreen cooking school. Well, shit, cooking with Chris. I know I should have just started that and just forgot all this TV stuff and just did a cooking channel. Rod Dammit, Love Me Some Duncan A, probably my favorite from George. Yeah, I think so too, man. I mean, obviously I like the main story. It's just so big and epic and whatever, but I don't like how it ends, and I just don't. And I know the ending's gonna be, the big things are gonna be the same, but Duncan Egg's stories are really good. I don't know. Yeah, who is no name? Who is tall enough to play Dunk? God, what is he? Like 6? I don't even remember if they said like 6'10" or something. think it's 610. Yeah, I don't know, man. Matt Geo, I know this is a GOT stream, but what did you think about new Stranger Things season? Because I know you were grew up in the 80s. No, I loved it, man. This season was really good. They really went back and kind of got to the core, went back to explain some things, and this season was really like a lot better than 2 and 3 for sure. It's really good, and I'm looking forward to the last 2, which come out July 1st. Yeah, if you love Stranger Things season 1. And you didn't really love 2 and 3, and you hadn't watched 4 yet, definitely watch 4. It's really good, and they lots going on, but it ties a lot of stuff together. It's really good, love it. Yeah, Rod, too artsy and big time now. Yeah, I think that's the feeling I get. I can't obviously don't know him, I can't judge him, but I just don't think he would. Let's see. Yeah, Game and Trucker. What's up, Game and Trucker? Mushroom. We gotta at least see Mushroom. I've been saying this since they announced the stuff. They gotta bring. You gotta at least see Mushroom, because the bottom line is he has a big role in the books. He is, the Maester mentions him several times. And it's like his version of events are always the more scandalous, right? And I think it's probably some of it's not true, but he was there on Dragonstone a lot with Rhaenyra. He was the court jester. He was there for a lot of things, and they talked in front of him. I just think you got to have him, not necessarily as a main character, but I think you got to have, man, that him in the show to at least acknowledge he was there. And some of the things he said has to be probably more correct than the Maester. So, I mean, I was surprised they didn't actually announce a Mushroom character. But that might be a surprise. Penn, good night. We're getting out of here, too. I appreciate you guys hanging out. It's getting a little late, so we'll get out of here. But really appreciate it. I'm sorry. What was it? Duke. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Duke. The Dunk and Egg timeline. That's about 90 years. 90 years before the War of the Five Kings or the beginning of Game of Thrones. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot closer. So, you got Dragon, House of the Dragon, which would be about 170. That lasts a couple years. And then, obviously, you got some more Targaryen stuff. And then about 90 years before Game of Thrones, you have Dunk and Egg. So, it gets closer. Dr. Disrespect to play Dunk. Oh, Lord. How tall is he, dude? Is he that tall? Master Sith, thank you, man. Cool stream. Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. Glad you guys hung out. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll be back. I guess we'll, unless, again, I got a couple things happening, but we should be back every Sunday from this point on until we get to House of the Dragon. We'll talk more about it. We'll just do some Q&As and just hang out leading up to it. Hopefully, we'll get a trailer very soon. So we'll definitely get to talk about that and more stuff. But yes, we'll get out of here. Appreciate it. Thank you again. Obito, thank you for subscribing earlier as well. And then Spartan Warrior for the super chat, $50. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. It helps a lot. And I think that was all that I saw on stream, I believe. Let me triple check Patreon over here and make sure. I think it was just Lord Kev and Doc Holiday. Alrighty. Yep. That's that. But yes, appreciate it, guys. Thank you, moderators, as usual. I know we had a couple little bots. I just saw one somebody grabbed. Not too bad tonight, though. We were better than last couple of weeks. We've had these stupid bots. Count Ripula, there you are. Good night. Appreciate it, guys. We will hopefully I'll drop a video this week about something dragon related. We'll see what happens, and we will see you guys at least on live next Sunday. And remember, 8 more weeks now, a little less now since we started, until we're actually watching House of the Dragon. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.